Great day, everyone. I am super excited for you guys to join me for this episode of It's the Love for Me. Guess what it's about? It's about high steppers, honey. We are high stepping, and I got the boss in the building. I have a super duper guest that's going to tell us how she navigates the business world, because that's what It's the Love for Me is all about. It's about talking about things that people want to know, how they learn how to navigate the obstacles, the ups, the downs, the good and the bad. So that's what It's the Love for Me is all about. So welcome my guest. This is the boss of bosses who high steps all the time in H-Town, Miss Onay, the CEO. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to see you on your journey, bringing the word out to the people. And I'm even more excited to just be on your set. Thank you for the invitation.
I could not have done any show without having you because, again, you do this and many things for a living, you know what I mean? But also you do it because it's the love for you. And I know that, but I want the people to know. I want them to know who is Onay, the CEO. And again, remember, this show is about high stepping. So we're going to talk about, like I said, all the good things, all the bad things, the cracks, the navigating, just learning how everything goes. So first off, tell everybody, who is Onay, the CEO?
Okay. My name is Onay, the CEO. My government name is Lenora Laws, for those that's cutting a check, okay? But I go by Onay, the CEO, and my journey just kind of evolved. I grew into the name. A lot of people that may know me from 20 years ago, I was Onay, Houston's poetic diva. Started out in poetry. Yes, and I'm still doing poetry. I'm a veteran now. I'm somebody's grandma, okay? But yeah, I started out doing poetry. It evolved. I put an album out. It evolved. Of music and singing, yes. So that led to it being featured on different movie soundtracks, and then that kind of opened my eyes to the movie industry. I started acting, and I had a few movies where I actually played myself in the movie, performed in the movie, loved the creative side of acting.
Yes.
Decided to become a casting director because I wanted to be behind the scenes, really.
Absolutely.
To bring it together, because that's where the real art is being able to collaborate and see that vision come together. So I've done casting directing for a few companies. Shout out to Clear Quality Media. Shout out to Brothers Forever Productions. I've worked with Greg Carter. Shout out to him.
Now, who is Greg Carter?
Now, Greg Carter,
again, I know this is Houston, right?
Yes.
Like, a lot of people do know, but again,
he's done a lot of films here in Houston and LA.
Okay.
He's a movie producer.
Okay.
I mean, you guys can Google him. His list is long.
Wow.
And so he actually got me into the writing side of it when I wrote the poetry for Reagan Gomez, AJ Lamas. I also played myself in one of his movies. Then he would reach out to me like, "Hey, Onay, can you write another poem? Can you write this for this?" So I was like, "Okay." So after putting my book out.
What's the name of the book? Is this the first book?
Infinite Silhouettes was the first book. And then I went on to write books that went with stage plays. But I put my book out, and it just kind of evolved into me, people coming to me saying, "Hey, who published your book? Who published your book?" And I'm like, "I did." So that led me to publishing 15 other authors in Houston. Shout out.
Wow. Come on, 15.
So it's just... everything that I've done really has chosen me.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it just always evolves. Like the poetry turned into the books, it turned into the performing, it turned into the album, it turned into being in movies, and then the movies turned into me being a casting director, and that turned me into wanting to write my own stage plays. And so me and another one of my girlfriends, Bliss Gillespie, we wrote these two books. We co-wrote these two books called What is a Selfish Baby Mama and What is a Selfish Baby Daddy? Because they run amok.
Both,
so
right?
we
Let's
actually wrote the plays for them. Shout out to all our actors that came out, and we had them at the Ensemble Theater. That was really great. And it's just, like I say, everything chose me.
Wow.
So fast forward, I'm a mother. My kids are 29, 26, and 21. And so,
It don't crack.
yeah,
You know
baby.
it.
And so, just wanting to be a beacon of light for them, to show them that you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Yeah.
Even with the studio that I have, One Studios, y'all make sure y'all check it out for podcasters like yourself.
Yes.
That kind of evolved from my girlfriend of Bliss calling me saying, hey, there's a casting call. You should go check it out. My girlfriend Angie is doing it. And I'm thinking, well, I'm a casting director. I don't really go to casting calls. I hold casting calls.
Yeah.
But we all have to have a level of humility and show up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I showed up. And the studio was amazing. I was like, oh my God, okay, I think I might want to do this.
Yeah.
And so I ended up hosting Mix and Single. Well,
At the
co-hosting the Mix and Single show.
Yeah.
And when she stopped her show, everyone was in my inbox like, hey, when you bringing your show back? When you bring your show back? I'm like, that's not my show. I was a co-host. I was like, well, you need your own show. So I just jumped out and started doing Outside the Box with Onay. And at that time, I was getting a little traction. The studio that I was recording in decided to close business.
Oh, okay.
And when I tell you I'm the definition of you close the door, I'm going to come back and buy the building.
Won't he do it?
He did it. And he did. Because I went right to him and said, well, look, what you doing with all this equipment? What you doing with this?
Closed mouth don't get fed,
God
people.
made a way where I was able to purchase all the equipment, the whole platform, and keep his staff so they didn't lose their job. And One Studios was born.
So I hear a lot of art. I'm
I'm a painter too,
Exactly. Poetry, music, author, just really like acting. All of it is art. So tell me, where did that love come from? I understand things. You mentioned that everything that you've done has chosen you. But tell me, where does the love for art? Because that's what I hear.
To be honest with you, like, again, it keeps evolving. Because when I first started writing poetry,
What made you start writing? How about that?
My heart was broken. And I would write poetry, and my ex-husband, baby daddy, would like, he would kind of like try to tell me, your poetry ain't no good, or tear up my work or whatever, whenever he would have a little spit, just to be transparent.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I met Dr. K.G. Bell, which was my Dean of Graduate Studies. He was doing a play called Romantasm back in the day. Jam and Jay DeLay and all of them was in it. And we were at a round table, and I was kind of intimidated by him.
Yeah.
And he's the one that actually gave me the name Onay. Him and my mentor, Frank Jones, which his real name is Willie Harris, rest in peace. They gave me the name Onay because it means to desire to be great. But
I love that.
Back then, they was just calling me Lenora, and I called myself getting all the little poetry that I had, and I typed it up really nice and made a little packet, and I slid it across the table to Dr. K.G. Bell. And he was like, oh, Miss Laws would like to recite some of her poetry for us. And I was like, oh my God, now that he put me on the spot. So now I'm standing at the end of the table, the round table, and I'm shaking. I'm reading my poetry, and everybody got up when I finished and was clapping and was like, oh my God. So I'm like, so he was like, I have something for you to do. So he told me to go to the Red Cat Jazz Cafe on like a Tuesday and ask for it wasn't Sam Pink. It was whoever owned it before him.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what I was going for, right? But I'm big on showing up. I'm big on following when someone that I trust, that I admire, tell me to show up. I know that it's God.
Yeah.
So I showed up. And I was like, I'm Onay. Dr. K.G. Bell told me to come and speak to you. So he was like, okay, just 1 second. And then he goes to the stage. He's like, oh, we got an artist that's performing tonight. And this is my first time.
Come on, be ready. That's
ever,
what that is. Yeah.
Like, performing in front of people.
Yes.
And so I did the poem. And everybody just was like, went crazy after I finished. And after I got off the stage, the women were like, oh my God, it's like you were speaking for me. It's like you knew exactly what I needed to say.
Yeah.
And just seeing the impact that it had on other people, that created my love for poetry. Now, music was always in me. I'm kin to the Law. I'm in the Laws family.
Yeah.
So Hubert Laws, Deborah Laws, Ronnie Laws, Eloise, all the famous jazz musicians. It's just in my blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played clarinet. I dabbled and dabbled in piano, but I was in a marching band and all that. So
Baby girl, come on.
I love music, period.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I love art, anything art. Even during COVID, I had recently lost my brother, and I didn't get a chance to properly mourn him because I was the one trying to
Be strong
be
for
strong
everybody
for my
else.
mom
Yep.
and just get all his affairs in order because my
Yeah.
mom was sick as well. So I didn't have time to cry and buckle. I had to get busy.
Yeah.
So when it all died down about a month after he passed, I attempted to, and I'm going to say attempted because it was my first acrylic painting of a person, and I tried to paint him.
And you just picked up the brush one
I
day
just
and was
picked up
like,
the
I just
brush.
want
I
to.
just
So
want-
it just came over you like, I
Yeah.
just want to paint.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
it's
I
the
didn't
art.
even know the value of it. When I started doing it, it was like more like therapy. And I would post it on like social media and people were like, how much? And I'd be like, $60. I ain't know no
So
difference.
you
girl.
started selling
I
it?
started selling it for like $60. Didn't know no better. So
Wow.
then I started dipping and dabbling into resin. And so I did this resin painting. It was so live, okay? And I didn't really want to sell it, but I
Yeah.
wanted to post it. So somebody hit my DMs and was like, how much? Well, because I didn't want to sell it, I said $500. So he was like, well, what's your Cash App? And so I sent him my Cash App. And like 30 seconds later, I heard, ring.
He bought it.
He bought it.
Oh, wow.
And I never sold another painting for $60 again.
I know that's right. Listen, you
So
so
now
now learn quickly.
So my art sells for $2,200 a piece.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're still painting
I'm still paint.
in the midst of poetry,
In the
midst of executive producing, doing all the things Onay, the CEO, does.
Now I do everything, and a lot of people wonder, like, how do you do so much?
That was the question. Come on, quit reading my question.
Listen, I compartmentalize.
Yeah.
And I work on time management.
Yeah, it's very
so
important.
it's very, very important because what a lot of people don't know is I am still in corporate America. I've been with an investment firm for the last 25 years. That's my for show money.
Yeah, I say that's what pays the insurance.
Yes.
Right? Like that's the
That's
job
what keeps you
that,
sustainable during
Yeah.
the slow months.
Yeah.
Because I'm only one person. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
I get tired. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying.
You're human, right?
And right, I'm absolutely. And so even like with my talk show, people, I'll go in on one day and schedule 6 different episodes.
Okay.
And record all 6
That's
and do
smart.
wardrobe changes and then roll them out. So I don't have to worry about that for 6 weeks.
Exactly.
That's compartmentalized.
But tell me this. So you learned all these things as it relates to prioritizing, because that's really what I hear, prioritizing your time and your peace. How did you, what brought about that? You know what I mean? Is it just
I
trial
think,
and error?
To be honest with you, I think all of it was a form of escapism for me.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we are overachievers, it's really a
Yes.
trauma response
Yes. Yes.
of not feeling like you're enough.
Yes.
And
yes.
because I know who I am now.
Right.
But being a
if the
teen
truth-
mom,
yeah,
I got
yes.
pregnant at 15.
Yes.
I had 3 kids by the time I was 23.
Yeah.
So I came from a background of people just telling me I was going to be a statistic.
Nothing. Yes. Yes.
Not expecting greatness from me. And so I had that, turn lemon into lemonade type.
Yeah.
You tell me what I can't do and I'm going to do it
Watch
twice
it.
just to show you.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of where that came from.
Yes.
So
Yep.
instead of sitting in the pain, I turned the pain into power. But I also had to learn when to power down so that I can be in my soft girl era, so that I can do all the things that I deserve to do, like
Right.
travel. So I make it a point to go another country every 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So I've been so many places now, and I didn't start that till I was 38 and I'm 45.
Right.
So it's just
And that came over you, right? So tell me, how did you get there? How did you start choosing you? Where did the love for Onay come from? Is it because of failures?
Really,
Is it because
it came from choosing everybody before choosing me, and then realizing that people will come and get what they need, and when you have nothing left to give,
So it sounds like through pain.
through pain.
Yeah.
I found my purpose
Yeah.
through pain.
Yeah.
I found my passions through pain.
The
My
love for
poetry was
those.
from pain. My
Yes.
painting was from pain. Now, that I've evolved, everything is not painful.
That's
I
right.
don't just write painful poetry. I don't just draw or paint paintings that are sad. Now,
Right.
you evolve. I don't just write about, or I don't have, my shows are not based around pain or trauma or anything like that. But at the same time, I do want to be transparent. I do want people to know that it's not always easy. It's never easy.
Right.
And you can't skip the work.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people want. They want that
Microwave,
overnight.
that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's why I always say people talk about the great or the good of all things, specifically for like small business owners or business owners. I'm going to quit saying small business because right about now, like we just business owners, right? So people always talk about, oh yeah, I made $1 million or, you know, I was the first, you know, millionaire in my family, first this, first that. But talk about the struggles, right? Like, let's be very transparent. That's what, you know, that's one of my favorite words. But let's be transparent. Like, it wasn't easy. I learned through trial and error, a lot of failures, a lot of rejections, a lot of no's. But I couldn't give up. So talk about that.
Well, my strength really came from having my back against the wall. I'm just going to be honest. Like, nobody's going to come and save you.
That's right.
And I didn't want to do nothing strange for a piece of change. I'm just gonna tell you, like I ain't all that, but I could pull it off if I wanted to. But no, you know, I had kids, and so I couldn't put myself out.
Yeah.
And to me, my most valuable, most beautiful asset that I actually have is right here. And so once I start tapping into me, and I start finding, you know, when people start reaching for you and asking you for what you have,
right.
Put a price on it and add tax.
Your gift, come on.
Because your gift is supposed to make room for you.
That's right.
It's like, I didn't even know my value of poetry. I'll share a scenario with you. So back in the day, maybe like 2007, I was booked to do a show. I can't remember the name of the show. And they reached out to me and they were like, hey, you know, your homeboy Seven, you think you could get him, you know, on the show too?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Seven. He was like, yeah, send him my information. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
So after the show, Pastor P, shout out to Purvis Hall, he passing out the checks. So I get a glimpse of Seven check. His check for his poetry was $750. My check for my poetry was $325. So I asked,
get on my level.
Purvis, I say, well, why you? He said, well, I asked you what your price is. And you said $325.
Got it.
If you would have said $750,
got it.
You would have got $750.
Got it. Message. What's the message?
Knowing your value.
Know your worth, honey.
You can't let other people, and see, out of fear of being told no, a lot of businesses lower the value of their product because they're worried that other people can't afford them.
Right.
Well, I'm not worried. That's not the people I'm marketing to.
That's right.
That's not my audience. If you can't afford my price, you're not my audience anyway.
Right. That's right.
Because there's a corporate, you know, podcaster or somebody that have it in the budget.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
You know, and so I just, you know, like I said, I learned through trial and error. I'm not perfect.
Sure.
You know, I've had some tough lessons, and I didn't have, like, I'm not building my business on business credit. So I am my investor.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I took a lot of L's.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to take a few L's to get to that win.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
It's through those L's, because nobody's going to come and give you the complete game.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you the cheat
code.
code.
That's facts. That's the sad part, and it's the truth, though.
But their cheat code might not even apply to
yours. You're right. You're right.
I could give you all the game
that
I use for my show.
Right.
But that might not be fit for you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you do is be okay to listen, even if you don't want to take the advice. Because it might be one thing I say out of 10 things that you actually can use.
Yeah.
And just be okay to listen. And I listen. I pay attention.
I pay attention. And I tell people all the time, like, give me the play. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I may ask a couple questions afterwards, but once you give me the play, I'm going to run it.
And I'm going to tell you this, too.
I'm going to run it.
It's a lot of wannabe coaches out there that want to charge, and they don't know what they're doing.
That part.
You know, the social media. And then you book them or you hire them, and they overpromise and underdeliver.
That's right. They just giving you information. You can choose.
Google.
Yeah, you can Google half.
They didn't went into ChatGPT.
I'm giving you real life info.
Yeah, you know. So sometimes you just have to learn it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, even I mean, you can hire somebody to do a job for you, but it's always good to know some of what that job consists of. That's the only way you're going to know if they're doing their job is if you know what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. Listen, Frank C. Assisted Living, we talk about it all the time. That's one of my sponsors, but as a business owner, that's exactly what my husband and I do. We run the business. Why? Not because we really, really want to, but we do it so that when the employees come in and say what they can't do, like, okay, maybe that person is not, someone that should be there long term because we have done it. So you can't tell me what you can't do, especially if we do it on a continuous basis while running multiple business, while working in corporate. So I literally take that motto like, I'm going to run this play. I'm going to do it so that not to be a hovering boss or, a boss owner, but knowing that I can do the job. So I know you can do it. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you also is in regards to like as a high stepper, meaning somebody that really is just, in my opinion, someone that is, stepping above the norm, right? What do you take from that title as a high stepper? What do you take from that?
I'm going to tell you, I am humbled. I'm honored that you see me in that light. But
you too sweet. Okay.
I'm just honest because, I called myself Onay the CEO.
Yeah.
And I named myself that before I was the CEO. Only thing at the time I was the CEO of is the publishing company.
Yeah.
Now I have a whole studio. I have, I have the Swan Isle, Sea Moss beverages and all of that. So I have different companies. So I lived up to that name. But I gave myself that name before I was able to live up to it.
Yeah.
So, just staying humble and staying true to myself and also finding ways where I can help someone in the process. You got to find a way. That's the only way you're going to have purpose. Because if it's just for you, it's not going to last long. And it's like Outside the Box with Onay, my show. When Gary Lee asked me, he's like, well, what you going to name the show? Because he was trying to tell me at the time that I needed to pick am I going to do health and beauty? Am I going to do finance? Am I going to do music? Am I going to do media? Like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, I don't want to be one-dimensional. I want to be outside the box. And so that's how that came about.
I like it.
Because I really wanted to create a platform where other like-minded individuals who don't get a chance to get their flowers, I want to be able to give them their flowers.
Yes.
Because just because they're not a celebrity doesn't mean that they're any less valuable than those that are trending on social media. And it's a lot of hidden gems right here in our city and abroad that don't have anyone clapping for them or reaffirming them. So it feels good to sit in the guest seat today and just hear how you feel about me because on my show, I don't talk about me.
Yeah.
I talk about everybody else. Like, what's going on with you? Tell me what inspired you. So it feels good to get my flowers too,
Absolutely.
And just be able to be authentically me. No prep. I came in ready, baby. No,
It did. So how do you look at mentorship, right? Because like you say, I'm over here on the sideline. I see what you're doing, right? And granted, I don't know all the grind and the grit that you had to go through, but I see your glory. So how do you view mentorship and are you looking to, potentially mentor?
I've mentored. I've done it. Shout out to some of my students, Patrina Goree. She's out there in New York doing it big, but she played for Harlem Globetrotters and everything. So, shout out to Nikki Antoine. She had the Size Sexy Divas back in the day. And she wanted to do a summer program, and Curtis Vaughn was a part of it, where we did Adopt a Diva. And I came up with the acronym for DIVA was a driven individual that's vibrant and ambitious.
Okay.
And I mentored girls between the ages of 12 and 18. And my particular course was becoming successful in the face of adversity because I was a teen mom. And so often because of our circumstances, people will project their limits upon us.
Absolutely.
And I wanted them to have a limitless outlook on life because that's how I look at life.
Yeah.
And so mentorship has always been like a thing for me as well. So moving on to dealing with adults, I don't necessarily look at look at it like mentorship, but I guess it could be mentorship because if I see that it's something that can enhance you
Right.
or make you for the better, I'm gonna
Right.
give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the game.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you all day what you need to do,
Yeah.
but it's up to you if you
Will you
gonna-
do it? Yeah, it's a question. And then, too, to your earlier point, you said, some people's journey or even tools or advice may not all be applicable to you.
Correct.
So, and then, too, holding back I post all the time on social media, and more recently I posted something about people that hoard information. Like, I can't stand people that do that because at the end of the day, what's for you is for you. So
It's 7.9 billion people in this world.
It's crazy.
It's 7.9 billion people in this world.
If you could help somebody miss a step or get to the next level, why not give it to them?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't take anything. It doesn't take your shine. Doesn't take your value. So yeah. I can't.
And my biggest thing for me is because life is short.
Yes.
And I've lost so many people close to me. And I lost my brother, he was young.
Yeah.
And I just realized that tomorrow don't wait on nobody.
That part.
And you only really are remembered by the experience that people have with you. You might not remember my name, but you're going to remember me.
Yeah.
You're going to remember how I made you feel.
Absolutely.
Were you seen? Were you heard?
Yeah.
Did we have a good dialogue? Like, you're going to remember my essence no matter what. That's my footprints in the sand.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is when I leave this earth, and God, please don't take me no time soon. Even though some days I be feeling like I'm on the last stretch, I'm telling you. But I feel like it'll look like the Million Man March outside.
Yes.
Because that's how many lives
Yes.
I've impacted or strive to impact as
Absolutely.
well. Now you're not gonna see me on social media posting about it.
Yeah.
Because what I do for you is what I do for you.
Right.
If you want to shout it out to the rooftops and tell the world, that's between
on
you and God.
Yeah.
But God told me that's not what you're supposed to do when you're doing His will. You're
That's
not
right.
supposed to go to the synagogues and
shout it out. Yeah, yeah.
You're supposed to do it in private. You're
That's
not supposed
right.
to tell the right hand what the left hand is doing. If you're going to give to the poor or give to the needy, don't get on social media filming yourself giving to the needy. Now you're
Please
doing it
and
for
thank you.
likes. You're
Exactly.
doing
And
it for
clicks.
likes.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing the person that you claiming to help.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop.
Please and thank you.
And thank you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel about it. Now, the only time you'll see me posting about giving back to the community is if I'm looking for volunteers to assist. That's the only time you'll see me.
Yeah.
But you won't actually see me in action. But those that know, those that matter, know, and those that don't know, don't matter. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Those that matter know, and those that don't know don't matter.
I like
because
that.
I'm not doing it for the claps and the praises of the people.
Of the people. That's
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's facts. And again, like you said, those that know, they know. So you don't, I love that I have a t-shirt that says say less. I know everybody said, but my t-shirt says say less.
Say
like,
less,
because those that know. So tell the people what is next. Because you do a lot. Let's be very clear.
Well,
and you're good at it.
I'm always
However,
doing something. And I don't know when this may air, but I will say this, it's always something next coming up. So if you want to know, you can definitely follow me on social media. ONNEY, the CEO. That's ONNEY, the CEO. Instagram. I don't really post on TikTok. I need to do better with that.
I love TikTok. Please don't
Facebook,
take it away.
I'm still a Facebook girl, but I rarely have time to post. I'm really looking for somebody that can manage my social media for real.
Really?
I am, because I have so much content, so many concerts and stuff that I performed at that never saw the light of day on social media.
Wow.
Because I don't have the time to sit there and post. You know how long it takes me to make a reel? And then
I make mine right after I do it.
Then I gotta post a caption, the hashtags.
Yes.
Listen,
that's that perfection though. See, I think you be trying to make it perfect.
Somebody come help me. Somebody come help me.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
But listen, I am, like I said, I am so grateful. Like, I can't really express how much, but I am so grateful that you actually took the time out. Like I said, I know everybody's schedule's busy, and I'm busy, you busy. Okay, let's be very clear. But I am super excited that you took the time to come drive all this way, country mile, and come sit down and just really chop it up with me. I want people to know who you are because you said something that resonates with me, and I say it often that the purpose of the It's the Love for Me company is to empower and to be that visual for people that don't necessarily know where they're going to help navigate like in this life, right? So you said making a positive impact on someone's life, and that is the premise, that is the goal. And just like my book, Pursuit of Purpose, 11 Keys to Soar Like a Phoenix, 11 Keys to Rise Like a Phoenix and Soar, I'm sorry. It talks about having a positive impact on people's life because you can have an impact on someone's life, but at the end of the day, you want it to be positive. You want to leave a legacy, a trail, if you will. And I think you're doing a phenomenal
My
job
goal
of that.
has always been to be the Maya Angelou of my time. When I first got with Brothers Forever Productions and they brought me on as a casting director, and they were doing a series, and then they were doing movies, and I'm like, okay. He was like, oh, okay, well, you're overcasting. So I went back
Wow.
and got all my childhood friends and everybody that I knew that I thought would want to take this opportunity. I didn't care if they never acted before.
Wow.
I'm like, come.
Yeah, let's try
I
this
try to
out.
put everybody on. So shout out
Yes.
to the people, Jason Thibodeau's, the JD LaGuires, to all the people that I worked with in the past that I now see doing amazing things.
Wow.
The Timothy McGinnis, he's out there with Tyler Perry. Like,
Wow.
to see the people that started with me and to see where they are now, and to
Yes.
be able to have pride in being a part of that journey.
Yes.
And just recently I did I had got a Pioneer Award at the House of Blues from Nexus Films, right? And so they honored me for my role in movies, right? And all the things. And just to be able to be in that room, and some of the guys that were there that were getting their awards, they were like turning around and giving me my flowers and
Wow.
saying, I just want to give a shout out to Oneida CEO. Like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be standing here on this stage because you
That
saw
feels
something
good. Yeah.
in me that I didn't see. And it makes me emotional because that's what you do it for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
oh,
To have that
y'all.
impact. Oh, Lord, no, but that is so true. When you were talking, and I want to know if you could, would you do anything different, number one, than what you're doing now? And if you could change, like, and say, I want to do this all the time, would you choose one thing?
No, I would definitely not choose one thing because I'm too outside the box for that. And I'm still evolving. So who's to say what I'm gonna do next?
Yes.
I'm still discovering myself. It's never
I
too
like
late to
it.
discover new things. Like, I didn't even
Absolutely.
know traveling was a thing for me until it was a thing for me. I didn't
Yeah.
get my passport till I was 38 because I was a teen mom.
Yeah.
Raising kids. Wasn't nobody
that was
finna
your
keep them
focus.
kids for
Yeah.
me to go out the country, girl.
Yeah.
Listen, so, and really, I was in situations where people that couldn't even get passports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So sometimes the people that you end up with,
Yeah.
baby, do a background check.
You know what?
If he got kids, you better see how much back child support he got. Like, all of those things can hold you back
Yeah.
from doing things because you might be good, but if
Yeah.
you marry a man that can't get a passport,
That part.
he not going to want to let you go out
Yes.
the country and spread your
Don't
wings.
leave me. So now
Baby,
you down here. You
you stuck.
You've dumb it down who you are.
Yeah, and so, I got divorced back in 2016, and I'm not in a rush to get remarried or anything like that because I'm still discovering myself.
That's
You got to
good.
keep in mind, like, I got pregnant at 15.
Yeah.
So I was a mother before I was a woman. So I never really got a chance to really discover who I was.
Yeah.
Or what I really liked.
Yeah.
And, once you have a baby by somebody, in your mind, you don't want to have a broken home.
Yes.
So you kind of feel like this is who I'm supposed to
This
be
is what I'm
with.
supposed to be doing. Yeah.
And that's not always the case.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a broken, healthy home than a together dysfunctional home.
Yeah.
Find a way to have healthy co-parenting. And that's what I did. That's what worked for me, you
Yeah.
know. But in some cases, you can get with someone who can really, really hold you back. And so my thing is, if I'm too much, go find less.
Yeah.
If I'm not enough, go find more.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, if we don't click, we just don't click.
And make it known, like, this ain't working out. Like, don't stay
and
in
be
anything.
Okay.
That's gonna, consume or take away who you are. I love the fact that you keep elaborating on the teen mother component, because I too was a teen mother. I think that's why we click so well. But just knowing that part of our lives built who we were, that even though granted we had our parents and our upbringing as it relates to our surroundings, but being a teen mother, and to your earlier point of being a mother before a woman, essentially, what I mean, like knowing what womanhood was really about. That has really defined the character and the resilience of actually both of us. So I think that's why we click so well. And we know that, we're just now on this journey called life and learning who we are, even at your age.
And I wouldn't take it back. A lot of people wonder, like, if you could do it over again, would you still have your kids so young?
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
I remember being asked that, when I was...
I can't say that I wouldn't, because I don't know what life would have looked like without them, because they were the driving force behind this big CEO that you see.
Yeah.
If I didn't have them to take care of, I probably would have been still at home with my mama till I was 23.
Yes,
but
learning.
Instead, I had my own place at 17 in my own car and put myself through school to go get Microsoft certified and all the other things that I reached out to do, because I didn't want to be a statistic.
Absolutely. Or you didn't want to fall victim. Or truth be told, let's be very clear, I didn't want those naysayers to win.
That's it. Yeah. Everything they said I couldn't do, I did it twice.
Oh, okay, you sure? Okay.
And I learned that you really can't tell big dreams to small-minded people.
Yeah.
Because they will piss on your parade every opportunity they have. Yeah. And sometimes they'll do it unconsciously. Yeah. Because they're projecting their limitations on you.
Yeah, and their fears.
That's just like they say, a man that can't tell you the most beautiful woman in the world, and he never left his block. He ain't seen nothing.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And so traveling also, like going to different countries, going to Dubai, going to Belize, going to all the places, Amsterdam, and I'm about to go to Aruba in June. So the thing about it is travel, see different things, eat different foods, just see how other people are living. It opens your creative space. It helps you unplug. Because one thing I know is when I go out the country, hey, whatever happens at home, I have to deal with it when I get back. I'm too far away to worry about it. But if I'm in the city, it's like my phone will ding and I'll feel like, oh, let me check this message. Oh, let me respond to this email. Oh, da. But if I'm out the country, it's like, hey, I'm too far to do anything about anything. It'll be there when I get back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, again, I am excited about your next. I'm excited about your journey and all the things that you're doing. Yeah. I know that you're going to continue to just make a positive impact on the world, touch people's lives and all that you do, especially with the art and that gift that you have in you that is just blossoming. So I know you do it all because it's the love for you. Yeah. Like it has to be the love that's in you that makes you, who you are and stand out. So I am so excited, like I said, to have you. Thank you so much for joining. So I just want to say to all of those that are listening, I am so glad you got to experience this. I want you guys to make sure that you follow my guest, Onay the CEO, on all platforms. Make sure you tap in with me every week to It's the Love for Me. Make sure you click like and subscribe, but also make sure you cut your notifications on. I want to make sure that you are in the know and that you see these amazing guests that I have every week, because I'm bringing it every week. So again, make sure you click like and subscribe. Thank you for joining. Catch you next week. Bye.